A lot of people could get really bored in long lines. I'm one of those people, staring at the same wall, stutter stepping every second, rethinking if you should get the lightning pass. Oh wait, wrong video and wrong part. But what if I told you to actually pay attention to detail, to the amount of work and imagination put into these lines? Sure, some of them suck. I'm looking at you, Hogsmeade Station, but a lot of them need to get the credit they deserve. So buckle up, kiddos. We got a top 5 cues in Universal. We're gonna combine Islands and Universal, so we really have to narrow it down. If your favorite cue wasn't on our list, go comment and make a good point that I made a dumb mistake. But this list should be pretty good. I did a lot of thinking and analyzing, and it should be very relatable. So for number 1, we got Shrek 4D. I'm playing. Don't dislike. Starting with number 1, Men in Black. The Men in Black cue is pretty cool. Everything seems like it's from the actual movie and we just walked on set, and I really like that. I think the only thing that is kind of dumb is so there's this showroom where basically an agent will send you down the elevator, but of course it's the trick that make it look like it's moving, and that's pretty cool, and I do like that trick with the Gringotts ride. It's when the guy comes on the other side and waves a puppet at you, kind of ruins the magic, and it's just goofy, but that's more of a nitpick. I really like the break room with the characters from the film. Those aliens they're pretty cool. They're just goofing off. But then we got the big old room, just like the movie, where they're just chilling. I really like this. It has a screen of info that kind of tells you what's going on. You got some aliens down there doing work. Everything looks spot on. Everything just feels right about this cue. It barely made the list. I was gonna put Velocicoaster over here, but I was a little disappointed that besides those cool raptors, there wasn't really that much else. So, Men in Black won. I do wish there was more aliens in that room, or to have just more rooms in general. But even as a kid, this line made me very happy and always will be memorable. E.T. Let's get the elephant out of the room. This entire cue smells great. It's unique, nostalgic, original. It's the Pirate of Caribbean equivalent for Universal, where smell equals experience. It's amazing when you look it up what the smell. Some say it smells like fresh pine, and that sounds pretty correct. Someone says it smells like stale water and an old outdoor carpet with faint scents of electrical equipment. Now that is very specific, but oddly right. It sounds so accurate to how I feel. Besides that, the trees, the radio playing, sounds, everything works together like you're actually stranded in the woods. It's like you're Elliot trying to get onto your bike. It gives you chills going in here because it sets up such an eerie but magical experience that lies away you. The ride isn't my favorite at all.
No, 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 no.
But this cue alone made the list, and it's perfect, and I hope they don't change that. The ride though, they could change. Revenge of the Mummy. It's dark, creepy, chilly, and very atmospheric. Also, they scare you in line if you weren't already getting the oogie boogie. The Mummy's cue really feels like you're inside a pyramid or ancient tomb the more you enter. And also, it gets dark, making the details and sculptures around you more terrifying, like your mind is kind of filling in the blanks. I love that. Disney likes having dark rides, so you do use your mind. And The Mummy did that perfectly because it feels very weird. And it really sets up the momentum. I remember as a kid, I really got scared. And the queue didn't help because there's literally people scaring you in line, like if I wasn't already terrified. But If I have any complaint, it's the beginning. I don't like how it says it's a hot set and shows all these props as if you're going on a movie set. It kind of kills the magic a bit. The ride is in the New York section of the park, and in Hollywood, it's not so strange to see ancient secrets in the city. Take National Treasure for instance. So I get what they were trying to do, but I don't like it. Should have been like a normal subway terminal or train station in the beginning, and then you go down some stairs that are dusty or something, or like a big hole in the ground, and boom, there's the queue. It would feel much more immersive and honestly work much better. I promise you, it will make it 1,000 times better. But besides that, the queue is awesome and I really love it. Surprise, surprise, the Harry Potter rides are gonna be the top 2, without a question. If you don't like that, then screw you! So, let's start with Forbidden Journey, and what can I say more? This is one of my favorite queues in the park. Not the best, just my personal favorite. And if it's your favorite, I cannot blame you. It's Hogwarts Castle. It's so immersive, and I like the amount of detail they put into every part. There's an outside queue if the line is long, where the kids were playing with the plants and stuff in the second film. That's kind of good, but it's kind of whatever. But in my opinion, I think the queue really starts once you get into the second part, not the first. I really like how these statues are just staring down on you. And let me just say, the wall, window, lighting, and everything else is perfect and just like the film, literally. They use the same production designers from the movie, so everything is spot on. The portrait room is so cool because they just having discussions with each other like, oh, Harry's gonna win the Quidditch match. Oh, he's the MJ of the game. It's funny, it's cool to see them banter like the movie. And also amazing how tall this room is. I like the technology they have for the painting, so it doesn't look like TVs. It actually looks like oil paintings. Talking. They didn't have to put so much technology in our queue, but they did because they want you to really believe that you're entering their world. Then you see Dumbledore in his office with an impressive projection trick, kind of like the Rock and Roller Coaster one. Or the Fast and Furious. Nah, that's the last Fast and Furious slander in this video. Then you see the gang messing around, trying to hide with their invisible cloak, and then they have this spell where they cast snow, and then I think bubbles come out. I like how creative that is, and I'm glad it works now, because during quarantine it didn't work, so it was just making noise. I like how the windows outside make it seem like it's dawn or dusk, which explains why the environment around looks super dark. And you even get to see the Sorting Hat. What else do you want besides the floating candles? Like, holy crap, they did everything to their ability to make the most immersive, imaginative, and authentic movie queue. They combine everything so great with the Harry Potter movies all into one line. Even if you're not a fan, you will still be in awe with the amount of effort and heart they put into this masterpiece. This is literally a step into a book and possibly one of the best and iconic build-ups to a ride in Orlando. And it's personally my all-time favorite, and what's even crazy is that I think there's one that's better. I originally had Forbidden Journey number 1 on this list, mainly due to subjective bias. It has more of the characters I'm familiar with, including the castles. It's the queue I go on more because I like the ride better than Gringotts, even still today. And it's just simple magic. And then I was gonna have Gringotts number 2 by an inch, but after rewriting Gringotts last weekend and looking at film and photos and the layout and the tricks that they put into their queue and actually taking everything in, from my last visit to the last detail, Gringotts is clearly superior, and I think I could defend this case. Like I said before, if you think Forbidden is your favorite, that's cool. For the longest I thought it was the most impressive line ever, and although I still have it as my favorite, I have to give flowers to the team that did Gringotts. First off, Diagon Alley really took things to the next level and made this movie come to life, and making the Gringotts Bank the main attraction of this land is just the best thing you could do with this franchise. And recreating one of the grandest rooms in the Deathly Hallows movies, the bank lobby, With a huge chandelier hanging over guests and the extremely detailed goblins behind her desk doing their work and not wanting to be bothered, just like the movie. They're like, screw off, we're doing our work. This is easily the highlight of the queue, but it's overall perfect, and it's exactly what I want The Mummy to be. The way you enter with the bank lobby and it gets even more and more murky and mysterious is really awesome. The more you get in, the more aged everything looks and more secretive to the environment. You go through the bank vaults, the offices of those who work here, with some still at work, the good old newspaper clippings that give clues to what lies ahead, wizarding style, just to make sure all the Potter fans aren't already passing out with everything else that you just saw. You get a Bill Weasley show too, which is crazy, the fact that they have 2 pre-shows in a ride, and even the silhouettes of our 3 protagonists behind closed doors just like you are going deep into the building. They're attempting to infiltrate Gringotts Bank in order to receive a Horcrux as part of their mission to defeat Lord Voldemort. And just to make sure, they want you to know you really have to go deep into the right vaults. You have to take an elevator, which honestly I didn't give enough credit for the last couple times I wrote it. They do this illusion a lot, mainly Disney, where you go in the room and it kind of whisks you into another world. Rise of Resistance is the last one to do it, but this one's a little different and it's very magical. There's light shooting up from the corners as you make your way down the shaft, but of course visually that wouldn't be enough, so Universal said, alright, we're going to take this further. They added undulating floors to create the sensation of going up and down. That is extremely clever. And even a screen up top to fully hammer the presence that is in front of you. They really put the idea in your head that you're going down the shafts. They really want you to convince like younger kids that don't know what the heck's going on. Once it opens, you're no longer in the offices, of course. It switches to a damp and cold underground, and I was extremely impressed with this. And after that, you go up a spiral iron staircase up the cave to your cart, so you can help Harry and friends save the day once again. This ride is good, not my favorite, not even top 3, but the queue, the amount of heart and creativity poured into this line is ridiculous. They took all the great features of Forbidden Journey's queue and magnified it to an extreme degree. I personally think this is the best. I also don't think it's my favorite, but it's really hard to ignore all the great qualities that I mentioned before. Gringotts did everything correct, and that's why I think it's the best queue in Universal Studios Orlando. What's your favorite queue? Let me know in the comments. I hope you don't say something dumb like the Shrek queue is just a red siren and a TV outside, or the what's it called, Jurassic Park queue, the River Adventure. That one's terrible. Honestly, I could do a top 5 worst queues, but I don't know. I might do that. Whatever. Have a great day.